We are at the vaults. The Scottish National Gallery. 121 steps! So today we have quite an exciting video. As you can tell, my hair is a bit fluffed up from going up Scott Monument. So the day started at 6 AM because I had a morning run, and then we did the morning routine, put our toddler at nursery, and then I headed out to... We are at the vaults. Okay, check this out. It's really spooky in here. It makes you believe there really are ghosts in this world. It's part of the second book in this trilogy, in Dark Flame. Julie has her bachelorette party going on through different places. Check this out. This is crazy. I'm afraid someone's gonna go boo at me. So this is actually as low as you can go under the city. It's called Blair Vaults. I actually did the tour with my husband a couple of years ago. I obviously don't write about places that I haven't been to, and it was quite nice. I wonder, this thing looks a lot spookier than it is. Oh, but then there's that whole bit behind it. Okay, let's not go there. And we're gonna leave a copy of Blue Diamond. 1785. For 30 years, they were a really nice place. There were taverns and workshops for cobblers and other tradesmen, storage space for merchants, so like very entrepreneurial. It then kind of deteriorated and became like hotspot for homeless and criminal activity and illegal gambling taverns and illegal whiskey. And then the businesses left, and between the 1820s and 60s, kind of the poorest move in. This is Market Cross, Edinburgh. And it's a market cross, which means it's a market square of a town. So this is where they would make general announcements and also burn people and do executions and medieval punishments. Which is why the ghost tours started here, because ghost tours are a little bit about like creepy, horrible things that happened in the past. And since they also had dinner at an Italian place in the Royal Mile in Dark Flame, I decided that I would give them a copy too. I did try to get some more exciting footage for you guys. I said, hey, can I film in the kitchen? But they said, no, we're part of a chain, but you can film around. So after this, I went to one of the most exciting places that I absolutely love in Edinburgh, and that is a chocolate museum. It's called the Chocolatarium. And you know how I mentioned that usually I would visit a place and then write about it? So here it was done the opposite way around. I did my research, I asked them for information, and then on my birthday that year, we went to the Chocolatarium. This is where Julie has her bachelorette party. It's part of like a big party, so you've seen the vaults as well. It's one of my favourite places to get chocolate in Edinburgh because I'm about to show you what I'm going to buy. My other favourite chocolate is Raw Halo because I'm raw vegan, and these are the two best raw vegan chocolates around. So what you get here, and you also see it in the book, is there's like a whole chocolate tour. You taste a lot of chocolates and kind of see what chocolate is made of and the whole process, and then there's some things that are deliberately made to be really, really bitter. And for me, it was like somebody's visiting Harry Potter, like I'm seeing something from my fictional world happen in reality. So it was really nice. In the books, it's Julie's bachelorette party. In reality, I went on a regular tour, but it's quite similar. Waverley Station, where Kim goes to meet Jane in Merlin's Creed. This was the first place that I ever saw when I came to Edinburgh, obviously. And my favourite spot is actually over there. Obviously, I couldn't film there because it's so crazy noisy, and so I'm now at the food hall. Which is a shame because I can't actually eat while I'm filming because I just ruined all the makeups. It was a really great experience coming here for the first time. I wanted to come for a while, and I don't know, kind of, I always had something that came up. And then one day I woke up 6 AM and with this voice going like, what's your excuse today? And then by afternoon I was here. And the first thing that happened, this was like midsummer, is that I come out of the station and it snows on me. Welcome to Scotland. Named after Scott's Waverley novels, we'll mention them in a second. So this used to be a loch. It was called Norloch, and it was also called the Nauseous Loch because it was an absolute disgusting place. Here's some of the stuff they did there. Witch ducking, smuggling route, drowning as a form of execution, and dumping ground. They would also put bodies of criminals and plague victims. And then, not surprisingly, in the 18th and 19th century, it became a source of disease and they had to drain it. And then they did something amazing and they built a railway track there and Waverley Station. I just want to mention there's some places in the books that are not real, like Camelot and the Everlands and Haven, and I might actually make a video just about them. And there's other real places. Blue Diamond actually starts in New York and we move from there into Scotland, which is the main place where all the series happens. So there's more of that, and if you're interested, I'll just tell you exactly where to find it. It's evanswitches.com and you just click places. And we're moving on to the Scott Monument. Unfortunately, so I just tried going up Scott's Monuments and they said I have to take a guided tour and the next one starts in a few minutes, so we have time to go to the gallery. The National Gallery started when the Royal Institution for the Encouragement of the Fine Arts in Scotland, it's a lot of words, founded in 1819, started to buy paintings. And the reason I'm holding this in my hand is because it's broke on the way, just broke. The Scottish National Gallery is one of my favorite places. I just come here and it relaxes me to just look at art and especially see some of the places painted that I've been to when I went hiking, and they kind of look almost exactly the same. We don't have a lot of time because I still have to hurry back and go up the stairs of Scott Monument. This is mentioned both in the finale Dragonfire and in Forbidden Road. In Forbidden Road, it's part of how Kim knows that time is about to catch up with itself, because she reads an article about her parents here and she knows that they're about to travel back in time. In 1850, Prince Albert laid the foundation stone. So lately they did an underground passage connecting that with the Royal Scottish Academy building, and it's a cafe there and it's very modern, and they opened it and there's the new exhibition. So we went, I think, just a couple of months ago and it was really nice. Scott Monument. 121 steps! Yep. Oh dear. All the tension between Kim and Seth in Rollins Creed, when they're barely able to talk to each other, finally they're able to communicate, and the first thing they do together after that is go up Scott's Monument. So because I took the tour, I know a couple of things that were quite interesting, and so that I got this right, I actually went and did the research before shooting this part of the video. Monument to Scottish author Sir Walter Scott following his death in 1832. So he was a novelist, a poet and a historian, and he was the first to write historic novels. If you like historic novels, we should thank him because he did this for us. And he had a series called the Waverley series, which we talked about before, Waverley Station. And he talks about the older heroic tradition of the Scottish Jacobite clans and their clash with the modern world of his time. 200 feet and 6 inches, which is 61.11 meters high, 287 steps. Now you can't get all the way up, but you can get quite a bit. Originally, there was a competition to design it, and a guy called himself John Morveau, the medieval architect of Melrose Abbey. This was like a pen name because he was afraid that as a joiner, craftsman and self-taught architect, he will not actually be selected to participate, but they liked his designs. His real name was George Michael Kemp. As I was still huffing and puffing from having gone up and down all these stairs, I got this email from Waldorf Astoria. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right, maybe it's Waldorf. And I wanted to visit the Louis Stevenson suite, which is where Mark and Julie spend some time right before they get married in Dark Flame. Surprisingly enough, as this is like the most expensive place in Edinburgh, it's a 5-star hotel and this is their biggest suite. It was booked, and also I kind of wrote them last minute because I just said, hey, I'm doing this tomorrow. Are you available for a 5-minute like video there? But they were really nice to me, so events planner met me and also said that he would pass it on to marketing. However, it really wasn't available, but this hotel had a different value to me, and I think this is where we would talk about how this whole series got started. So I originally wrote the first trilogy as a kind of a dream of Camelot times, and that went in the drawer. And this one day I go on this hike and I see this destroyed house on the coast. It's right when I came here. I talked about it in another video, and suddenly I have this inspiration to write about Julie and Mark. She's a mega witch and he's an ultra successful entrepreneur, and they're stuck, they're kidnapped. Their only way of survival is for her to do something very, very dangerous and forbidden, and this is the basis of the whole series. So I went back and I put parallel timelines on my older trilogy, and that's Forbidden Road with the parallel timelines and the college students going back in time, followed by Merlin's Creed and Secrets of Camelot, which has just come out. And this was the basis of everything. But I didn't actually write it on the coast. The place in which I wrote it, so this one day I had to use the Wi-Fi. I was stuck in the middle of town, and I went into Astoria Hotel and I asked them if I could kindly use their Wi-Fi while paying for a very, very expensive cup of tea. And there was this pianist playing there, and I was so inspired, and I finished what I had to do and I started writing. And then I would come once a week. I knew her, so it was fine, and they would just let me in, and I would just talk to her and like enjoy her amazing talent while being inspired to write this book series. So actually the first draft of Blue Diamond was written in Astoria Hotel. There's one other place. It's a nice pub that I really like. It's small, but it had this kind of really interesting feature, and I thought, oh, you know what, I have to also feature that in the series. So it's in the finale in Dragonfire. Connick Hill, I've only ever seen it from West Highland Way. You walk forever and ever and ever, and right at the end it goes up to Connick Hill, and this is what you see. And to me that is so breathtaking. This is like looking into infinity. This is how beautiful this world is. And I just, I can't get enough. I go whenever I can. I hope you guys like this video. I had an amazing day today. If you're interested in the book, evanswitches.com as usual is where you get all the links. It's on pre-order for 99 cents, 99 pence. And you know what? Let's put a book trailer for you.